Welcome to Rations, the MRE review show where lunchtime meets the outdoors. Vermont winters can be brutal, so for this season, we've traded some of the travel in exchange for an MRE tournament. Every year, the military updates the menus. Sometimes it's small changes, sometimes a total overhaul. There are 3 different contractors producing them, so even in the same year, Menu 14 from Contractor A might not match Menu 14 from Contractor B, and substitutions happen constantly. That Menu 14 on the pouch, it's just a slot number, like a jersey. Who's wearing it? That changes all the time. So here's the deal. I'm not comparing menu numbers, I'm comparing actual meals. Whatever ends up in the case, that's the fighter in the ring. Welcome to Rations. Looks like we'll be kept nice and toasty today with a balmy 23 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's go. One of the most important things that you can do in life is make sure you never settle when you can improve. And that's why I'm looking like a goof here, humping 50 pounds of gear, because I want to improve. We're almost 25 episodes in. I want to make this better. So my efforts to do that are gonna include an entirely separate camera and audio setup for when we do the actual reviews. The idea is, as it gets colder in the winter months, we won't be able to travel as much. And I've been saying that for a while, and the weather's held out. There's not much snow. It's cold, but there's not much snow. But if I have a higher fidelity camera and audio system, when we do the actual reviews, it might be a little more immersive. Because when you walk with me, that's mighty immersive, right? We're here together. We're on this hike in tandem. But when we stop to have the meals, things seem to get a little less pretty. Doesn't have to be that way though. So let's get immersive. Here we go. I'm thinking we're gonna go under that bridge. See if we can find a good place for camp. If I was thinking, I would have brought stuff for a fire, but I wasn't thinking. I wanted to pair together 2 menus that I felt reasonably stood to be logically paired together. So we've got what is almost the same menu item, a little bit different, but one's vegetarian and one's not. We've got the chili mac, considered by many to be the GOAT, not considered to be the GOAT by me, but it's pretty good, versus its vegetarian counterpart, vegetable crumbles with pasta in taco style sauce. So if we're just doing predictions, honestly, I think that the vegetable crumbles with pasta and taco style sauce is going to be the winner. But who knows, right? It's only one way to find out, and that's to try it. So we're going to give chili mac the first go. I am all sorts of hungry, and I think that'll help it score a little bit. It might need that, might need the edge. I do not have incredibly reliable use of my fingers right now. It's mighty cold, but it's only going to get colder as the season progresses, so no reason to complain too much now. All right, for the chili mac, we're going to start with vegetable crackers. That is a notable improvement upon the regular crackers. Might seem inconsequential, but it's not. We've got our heater pack. In the past, I haven't been using these. I think as we progress into the colder months, I might begin. With the cracker, we've got cheese spread with jalapenos, classic. We got a teriyaki beef stick. These are often very bad. But who knows? I'll give it another try today. Our odds and ends pack. If I had brought water, which we could have used to heat, I could also have made some instant coffee. Would have been iced coffee at this point. For dessert, we got lemon poppy seed pound cake. It has been a while. I'm looking forward to that. And then we've got our entree, chili mac. But a secondary dessert, we got Twizzlers nibs. Every now and then, you get a recognizable brand little candy for you. I'm going to try to do things a little more on the books this time and actually write down my scores. We'll see how that goes. Start with the veggie crackers. The normal crackers, they taste like if saltines didn't have salt. These guys actually do kind of taste like something. So I'll try a little bit on its own. They got, as far as dehydrated vegetables go, carrot, onion, red bell pepper, green bell pepper, celery, and tomato. But then they also got a vegetable seasoning. It's interesting, they use hydrolyzed soy protein. So these crackers, they got 3 grams of protein in them. That's kind of funny. But what is a vegetable cracker? If not the bed to put on cheese spread with jalapenos. I think moving forward, I'm definitely going to have to start building fires. My hands are not thrilled. And that's fine to endure, but it's going to be prohibitive when it comes time to open all these packets. So for the cheese spread, believe it or not, the first ingredient is cheddar cheese. I don't know that I believe that too much. Take some of that, make a little cracker sandwich. That was my nickname in high school. We'll give it a try. Definitely picks you up. It's got a good kick to it. A little bit smoky. Metallic type of salty. So it's good. I wouldn't eat too much without water. But it is tasty. Let's rate these as we go. Crackers normally, let's say maybe like a 5 out of 10. I think in the past I've done 4 out of 10. So since these are a little better, because they're the vegetable crackers, I'll give them a 5. Not if it's too cold for my pen. Oh no. Alright. Give the crackers a 5. The cheese spread is 6. And we can move on. I'm not going to make this, but there's a carbohydrate electrolyte beverage powder. These are so gross that it's not worth me trying week after week. But I am going to give the pack as a whole an extra point because of the utility of having a carbohydrate electrolyte powder. Next, before we get into our main course, we got the teriyaki beef stick. Historically, these are not good, but who knows? I'm a big jerky man. I eat jerky probably every day. So maybe my bar's a little bit higher, but this is better than usual. I wonder if it's a different supplier than usual. I believe it might be. I'll give that a 6. I don't like it, but people often do. Easy on the go protein. All right, the main course. Fortunately, I am very hungry. I've started working out a little bit closer to the Mike Mentzer school of thought, where you really focus on the eccentric movements. You do very deliberate weight, so you are fully in control of the weight, whatever the heaviest is that you're fully in control of, where the weight itself is not providing any force in your movement. For example, I'm 250 pounds. I want to do deliberate movements. So one of the things that I do to illustrate this point is assisted pull-ups. Now, of course, I can do pull-ups without it being assisted, but if I set the resistance at 115 pounds of resistance, then we're looking at 135 pounds of deliberate weight. If I were to just do my full weight, gravity's playing a role. Gravity's bringing the 250 pounds down, and the down movement's the eccentric movement. So the Mentzer idea is like, you got to be mighty deliberate and really intense, and you, instead of doing maybe 6 sets, you do a couple warm-up sets maybe, but then one real set to failure, where your muscles give out on you, essentially. And the idea is that your body has an adaptogenic response to that, because you're tapping into a very finite reserve on that last set. And its adaptogenic response is to generate more muscle mass. As a consequence of having started that as my routine, today was a gym day and I'm mighty hungry. So, long way of saying, this chili mac looks mighty appealing in a way that it might not otherwise. Do the sniff test to be safe. It smells good. So this is what we got for the chili mac today. Let's give it a try. I'll tell you, it looks considerably better than it did the last time we reviewed it. Last time it was congealed. And I don't know if that's a consequence of a different contractor or what, but this is worlds better than that was. So it even has a little like smoky taste to it that the other one did not. The other one didn't taste like anything. And it's funny, I think we did that at this location. I paired it up in season 1 against like a Hormel dollar pack, you know, one of the ones that you can get. Single dad type meals, you know what I'm saying? I think the Hormel won. But this time around, it has some decent chunks of meat. Whereas I'm not sure it really did last time. It does still taste like Chef Boyardee. In that it's barely approximating what Italian food would taste like. It's in no way approximating anything chili related. Just other than the fact that there are chunks of meat. The next one that we're going to try that this is going up against, the vegetable crumbles with pasta and taco style sauce, that's going to be approximating chili. Because that's got the taco style sauce. I'm going to give it a 7.5. That was good. Especially when you're cold and hungry. But now moving on to the dessert, lemon poppy seed pound cake. These baked desserts are so soft. I look forward to them every time. Look at that. Not bad. Now, I'm not much for lemon flavoring, but I do love these just in general. And the poppy seeds add a nice crunch. You have the soft cakiness of shelf-stable baked goods. The lemon it fits, it's cohesive. And then a little bit of crunch in every bite from the poppy seeds. It's not a 9 or a 10, simply due to my taste. But I'll give that an 8. Now, I don't like Twizzlers, but there's something a little bit less offensive about these little nibs. Maybe the width of a dime. They are not fans of the cold. Oh, wow. That actually makes this 37.5 out of 60. That's not bad. Since I'm packing up, I'm going to use this as a chance to put on my gloves. Because the sun's going down, and if it was 23 degrees when we started, it might be a little less now. I'll see you in a second for round 2. The vegetable crumbles with pasta in taco style sauce. I think this is going to be our winner. Let's see. Alright, I don't want to be biased. And honestly, it won't work that way. And I'll explain why in a second, but I am excited for this one. Vegetable crumbles with pasta and taco style sauce. Now here's why my excitement isn't a bias that'll help this. Oftentimes, you feel the distance between your expectations more than you feel, however, anything is an actual problem. So let's get right into it. Let's see what we got. Again, we got crackers, but this time we've got the regular crackers. I don't really see much need in going through these because we just tried the better one, but for posterity. There might be a spread that comes with this too. To be fair, I have to give this a 4 because in the past I've given it a 4. We've got our heater pack that we won't be using. Our drink today is French vanilla cappuccino. That is pretty cool, but it's not going to get a bonus point because it does not have any serviceable benefit. I don't know that it even has caffeine. It does have instant coffee. But you get instant coffee in the odds and ends pack. I can't give this an extra point just for that. So, we'll set that to the side. Ooh. We've got jalapeno flavor cashews. That's nice. It's a nice touch. Applesauce. Ooh. This is a ritzy applesauce. Applesauce enhanced with maltodextrin for increased performance. For all I know about bro science and nutrition, I don't really know what maltodextrin is, to be honest with you. But apparently it is enhancing to applesauce. This is applesauce trademark? How do you trademark applesauce? That's interesting. Our spread that we've got, chunky peanut butter. That's actually Rations first. We've only ever had just peanut butter. We haven't had the chunky peanut butter. First Strike bar. These are good. These are actually way fortified too. Vitamin B1, B2, B3, B6, B12, C, D, E, folic acid, vitamin K, and zinc. The only downside is they don't really handle the cold very well. But if we're being totally honest, they don't handle regular temperatures well either. This is apple cinnamon flavor. That'll be interesting. Our odds and ends pack comes with our tiny little Tabasco, but if we're being honest, despite it being cute and fun, Tabasco is one of the worst hot sauces. So I'm not gonna try it. It often makes things worse. And then we've got our vegetarian taco pasta. That is gonna be fire. So where do we start? Let's start with the cashews, jalapeno flavor cashews. We've got a couple newbies. We've never had the jalapeno flavor cashews before on Rations. Never had the chunky peanut butter. Never had this particular type of applesauce enhanced with maltodextrin. Let's get into the cashews. Oh, I should have shown you how tightly that was vacuum sealed. This is promising. Look at those bad boys. Not bad. One way or the other, these have a good kick. Good source of protein too. Actually, maybe not. You would think that nuts would be a good source of protein, but actually only 3 grams to 100 calories. That's not good macros. I'll give these a 7. They would have been an 8 if the protein content was higher. They are mighty spicy. What better way to get rid of that than with our applesauce trademark? Be able to drink this most likely. Includes 18 grams of added sugars. As if apples, they themselves, do not have enough sugar. I got to imagine maltodextrin is some sort of carbohydrate. Otherwise, like what? Sugar's not going to help your performance. There's no protein. Yeah, hard telling, but nothing wrong with it. I'm going to give that a 6.5. It does kind of, you can really catch the artificial vibe. I don't know what is in it that is providing that. Apples, sugar, maltodextrin, water, ascorbic acid. Often I do like, would this feel like home? And things get a better rating if they feel like home. This does not. And it's not to say that MRE applesauce often doesn't. Just this one in particular doesn't. But you know what I think will? It's this chunky peanut butter. I'm going to try some of it on its own, and then I'll put it on the crackers. Cheers. Chunky peanut butter has really grown on me. I mean, you're eating peanuts already. Why not have peanuts in your peanuts? You can quote that in your future publications on the show. I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but this actually is not as good as the usual peanut butter in here. But we'll make a cracker, like a little sandwich out of it. See how that goes. But again, this just kind of tastes artificial. Feels like maybe the nuts are supposed to taste smoked or something, like roasted. They don't. It's better as a cracker, but there's something off-putting about it. This has actually been an incredibly artificial tasting entire pack so far. I'll give that a 6.5 as well. It is still peanut butter. This would maybe be used as a dessert, but I'm going to get to it now because I'm not going to get more than one bite into it before it breaks my teeth. This is the First Strike bar, nutritious energy bar, apple cinnamon flavor. I've said it a million times before, but to me, the aesthetic of this, looking at it, somewhere between pemmican and like fruit by the foot. But there's a crisp in here. I wonder if it's crisp rice. There is. For how fortified it says it is, 270 calories is wild. Let's try it. I'll tell you, that did actively hurt to try a bite. But it tastes pretty decent. It doesn't fully hit what it's trying to do, and that whole like apple spice flavor. And honestly, after that one bite, my teeth are killing me, but it is close. And now that I've bitten off a little chunk, I can get this with my molars. That's good. If this was warmer and a little more pliable, this serves its purpose. It's high utility. I'll give that a 7. Which leaves us with what we're all here to see, right? We're here to see whether or not the vegetarian taco pasta is better than the goat, the chili mac. Let's give it a try. Oh, look at that. Check out that bad boy. That looks pretty good, man. I feel like I can see some beans, some either chili peppers or green peppers. Different type of pasta. Get a mighty big one here to get some of everything. Vegetable taco pasta. Let's try it. Man. None of this really ever feels like food, you know? But this entire pack has felt less like food than most. It all has that like artificial kind of, not metallic in the way that the cheese spread has it, but metallic chemical taste, which does not have to be the norm. I'm pretty darn familiar with these MREs, and it is not always the case. Some of these are very good, and this time it's not bad. And in the moment where you would be eating it, it definitely is. You know, it's pleasant, it's satiating, it's close enough. But I did expect a little more out of it. I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10. You know what? I gave that a lot of grief. And I gave the other one a lot of praise. But the numbers don't lie, and unless I'm missing something, which you can let me know. The vegetable taco pasta has a 38.5 out of 60. 1 full point ahead of the chili mac, 37.5 out of 60. That was undoubtedly the better pack. I don't know how that happened. The chili mac should have won. So now as I pack up, it's time to think about that. What do we do in an instance like this? I got a fortune cookie once that said, don't let stats do a number on you. I thought that was a good fortune cookie. And that comes into play here. You know, we haven't been doing this tournament for too long, but I am going to issue a rations first. And we've never done before. I'm going to override the score. And that about does it. And I would not have been able to anticipate how that was going to turn out. Almost impossible to anticipate, right? The thing that I thought was going to be better was not only notably worse, it was so much worse that it caused an override, which I didn't anticipate was even a possibility. That's my show, right? Thanks for watching Rations. Peace.